Hey y'all, today is January 3rd. I can barely see anything. I have no idea if I'm even in the shot. The sun is brightly shining on me. We're over here because I spent my morning walk hauling back Christmas trees. Yes, it is January 3rd, but this was going to be my chance to get what I needed, and I'm going to be making a table for the Woodland Feast out of these Christmas trees. Aren't they glorious? It's just like, I'm going to give them a whole nother life. They are going to become something new instead of just ending up in the wood chip pile. The remnants, those parts will still go into the green bin here. I'm really excited about this. What a better way to make a woodland inspired feast table than to take the trees that served as Yule trees and turn them into a new piece of work. I want to like jump in these trees. All right, everybody, let's do this. I'm like in desperate need of a haircut. Have like the whole triangle head of like Kathy's friend from the cartoon strip thing going on. Yeah, I need my layers redone. Not enough hours in the day. All right. These are the worst pruners ever. What the hell? Oh, I'm gonna be here forever. One. You know what? Something's not right. Not right at all. Any excuse to accessorize. I mean, come on. All right, now let's do this. Really hate these pruners. They're supposed to be like these more comfortable if you have like hand issues, and they're not. They're just annoying. I need to save some of these thicker ones. I think I'm going to be filling some holes. It all makes sense once it's get going. So, pine takes a ridiculous amount of time to dry. I need to cut up these bits so that they can dry a little bit faster. I will probably not be getting to constructing this table for a couple more weeks. I will be constructing this table with wet pine. I'm gonna leave it rustic and natural. I will be using some of these members as the legs. I had in mind that this table was going to be a rectangle, and then I started thinking about why can't it be round? I've not done a round table yet here on this channel, so that's what's going to happen here. I think that these animals coming to the table, they're all coming to the table on equal footing. It would be a round table. Even though I am making a peanut throne, these woodland creatures are meant to come together, and a round table does not establish any kind of hierarchy of that animal kingdom. So I am switching things up, as I do here on this channel. I'm going to cut up my 3 legs. That's going to be the first thing I'm going to do, is section out where the 3 legs are going to go, get those cut up, and then I'm going to be cutting smaller pieces that will land on top of the plywood piece to kind of mask the plywood from being there. And I think that I'm not even going to glue these pieces in because the wood's going to be still wet. I don't want to deal with any kind of cracking or blowing up that would happen if the wood is not properly allowed to dry. Another option, which is seen all over the internet, is to take the entire thing in a big chunk of resin. I hate working with resin. Resin is toxic. It's ridiculously expensive. And also, I can't encase wet wood. If I do that, it's gonna be a whole hell of a lot of problems. I am okay with this being a rustic gathering with there being, you know, bits of sap still running off of the pine. I realize it is breaking all of the rules of woodworking, but this is artistic license here and I don't care about that. I am gonna do it anyway. I don't care that it's not gonna be fine furniture like some of the other pieces I made. I'm excited about it being this ode to the woods and reclaiming of these trees to give them one last go. I need to make a decision. These went okay because they were larger. Trying to cut these smaller bits, even on the bandsaw, was not feeling comfortable for me. I need to make some kind of jig. Yeah, I think that's going to be my next move. It's probably going to be a V something that holds this in place. Y'all, please excuse the weird lighting. I had a couple lights blow out and I am so close to finishing this that I do not have time to stop and reset the entire studio to fix some lights. So I'm hoping it's going to be okay just to get me through the next couple of weeks and then I will have time to deal with that situation. Anyhow, I am about to cut the wood for the top of this table and I got this laid out kind of where I want it and I'm worried that if I move this, it's going to screw up my placement here. So I'm gonna have to do this really carefully. First thing I'm gonna do is trace what I got going on. I want to cut a tailored top for it. Alrighty, and now for the stressful part. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and tape this up. Probably out there thinking of some other easy solution of doing what I'm attempting to do, and I'm probably going to discover some easier solution long after the months of this thing being made. But here we are, and I'm just gonna go with this idea and hope all hell doesn't break loose. I think I can. Whew. Close enough. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. All right. Gonna be interesting trying to get it back on. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and jigsaw all of that shape out. I'm gonna jig because this shape is too awkward to get on my bandsaw and my bandsaw is pretty small. So the next move I'm going to make is I'm going to make an area for me to apply these legs. Now this leg is gonna land here and it will be from the underside, but I am going to be notching the leg at the same 2-inch height that the rest of these are at, so that I can just slip it in here and I will be gluing it on. If I leave this full-on section, that is way too long for the notching. So what I only want part of that in here, so I'm going to make a line and be chopping back some of this, and this will get glued into this bit of the section, and that's what's going to be doing the holding of my table. I'm going to do that for all 3 legs. I'm going to go cut these off, but I want to retain the opposite piece so that I can use it as a bit of a template when I am dealing with cutting the joint into the piece. There's really no way around the fact that this is going to be just a crude cut. It's just the nature of the material. So I'm just going to do my best. I don't mind if I have to throw in some shims underneath this just to make sure I get a good glue up. Now the rest of the table is going to be going together in a very craft oriented, I would not say craft, not craft like is in art versus craft. I want to say crafty kind of way, because I'm going to be hot gluing these pieces directly to this surface because they are just there for an aesthetic reason. And quite frankly, I'm still getting sap all over my hands. These are never going to dry in the time span of what I would need them to be. Trying to go with normal woodworking rules just doesn't even apply. None of those techniques are going to work with the wood being as fresh as it is. This is the round of Christmas trees that just came out this past December. We are here in March right now. It's only been 3 months. And pine needs about 10 years to dry on its own. In a kiln, you can cut that time down. These pieces on the top are only there for aesthetic purposes to really sell the idea of this table. So I'm okay with just whacking them on there with a bit of hot glue. But this is one of those pieces that I've kind of sacrificed the longevity of the piece. It's not a traditional woodworking piece that I know is going to last ages. It's a fun piece. It could still live outdoors and I can get a couple seasons to it, and I don't mind that. I can always throw this into the compost. I'm going to go ahead and take this over, I think, to the bandsaw a bit just to do some of the chopping out, and the rest I'm going to have to do by hand. Y'all, I had to share this amazing garden offering from this morning. The garden has been very kind to me today. I was able to harvest some new potatoes, some kale, some herbs, and some tomatoes still. These are tomatoes from last year. The tomato plant is from last year, so totally excited still. All right, so I just wanted to share my beautiful breakfast. The last thing I need to do to finish up this table is to add on these smaller bits of tree that I have saved. So I'm going to be cutting about 3-inch pieces that are just going to snug in here to hide the edge of this. Those parts I'm just going to heart glue on, and then I'm going to call it there. This table will be done after dealing with that edging. So I'm going to eat my breakfast and then I'm going to get on doing this. This is a little bit too shaky for me because of the weight of the top with all of these pieces on it. I'm going to be adding in a couple pieces with some black screws to add a little bit of some extra support. Gonna add a world of stability to the whole thing once I get these braces on all of the 3 legs. Alright y'all, I'm going to leave it here on the table. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Please like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so already, and stick around to watch this Woodland Feast come together. What you doing, Bubby?